Lance Armstrong, the crisis of an all-American brand. Lance Armstrong was born on September 18, 1971, in Plano, Texas. In 1996, he battled and survived testicular cancer and became a strong advocate for cancer research. He is a professional cyclist and philanthropist. His career highlights include 7 consecutive Tour de France wins from 1999 to 2005. He retired in 2005, only to come out of retirement in 2008 to place third in the 2009 Tour de France. He has dated many high-profile celebrities, including singer-songwriter Sheryl Crow, designer Tory Burch, actress-designer Ashley Olsen, and actress Kate Hudson. Lance Armstrong as a brand. The Livestrong Foundation, formerly known as the Lance Armstrong Foundation, was launched in 1997 and has raised more than $470 million for cancer awareness and research. The Lance Armstrong brand also includes celebrity endorsements, which total over $30 million in earning potential. These are some of the brands that Lance Armstrong endorses: Nike, Anheuser-Busch, Trek, Honey Stinger, 24 Hour Fitness, Radio Shack, Kiro, and FRS Co. The doping scandal. Doping allegations have plagued Lance Armstrong throughout his storied cycling career. Lance Armstrong not only denied doping allegations, he also worked with anti-doping organizations and testified in court proceedings that he and other teammates did not use illicit drugs during competitions. In 2012, the United States Anti-Doping Agency, or USADA, unveiled an in-depth investigation which had conclusive evidence of Armstrong's doping past that dated back to 1998. Interestingly enough, Armstrong publicly stated that he would no longer fight doping allegations. Once the USADA shared their findings with the World Cycling Organization, Armstrong was stripped of all 7 Tour de France titles, as well as other titles dating back from 1998. In a 2013 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Lance Armstrong admitted to doping, which was met with mixed reviews regarding Armstrong's remorse and regretfulness after years of staunch denials. Lance Armstrong, a timeline. As with most situations, hindsight is 20/20. What could Lance Armstrong have done differently to contain or reduce the damage to his brand and reputation? First of all, he could have responded to the doping allegations sooner. It is unclear as to who, either Lance Armstrong himself or his PR team, made the decision to wait to respond to the doping allegations or why that decision was made. Owning mistakes and accepting responsibility gracefully would have gone a long way with public reputation. He could have also made his response more heartfelt, clear, and believable. The Oprah interviews seemed to do more harm, as Armstrong's demeanor seemed to portray little remorse and only regret because he was caught. They could have developed a public relations campaign to promote Armstrong's positive side. The current PR strategy seems to be for Armstrong to lay low and stay out of the public eye. It may have been more beneficial to remind the public that Lance Armstrong is not an all-around bad guy by dialing up his charitable involvements in the media. Armstrong resigned from the Livestrong Foundation once the USADA released its evidential findings, so he would have had to work with a different charitable organization. Building a quiet philanthropic presence at first would be more respected. Another avenue would be to go the route that many pop stars have chosen to explain away odd behavior: reality documentary. The most recent example of this route is Miley Cyrus's MTV documentary, which gave the public a glimpse into Miley the movement. So what now? There are many marketing outlets that think the doping crisis has done irreparable damage to the Lance Armstrong brand. Here are some possible public relations strategies to help repair Lance Armstrong's reputation. He could work with an anti-doping agency to coach and warn other athletes against the dangers of doping, like the USADA, the United States Anti-Doping Agency, or the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Agency. Another strategy would be to create a Lance Armstrong brand blog to garner an emotional connection with the public. A possible option would be to tie the brand blog to Armstrong's current website. The blog needs to be transparent in that it shouldn't be filled with PR buzzwords and should have blog entries that come from the heart. And finally, another public relations strategy would be to use social media to allow fans or foes to interact with Lance Armstrong or the Lance Armstrong PR team. Live Twitter or Facebook chats would allow people to ask the questions they want to ask and allow Armstrong to answer them thoughtfully and frankly, with PR assistance, of course.
Listening to the chatter, sentiment was short, tired, and left little room for empathy. How to move forward. Here's some practices the Lance Armstrong brand can adapt. Creating a Google alert. It's quick, easy, and free, and it keeps you aware of your business and how they're published online. Listen. By plugging into content streams, RSS, and other real-time feeds of information to sample the voice of the consumer. Completing social media profiles is another great idea. Also, flood the web with good content. It's one of the best solutions and often free. Be civil and professional online. Hold live chat sessions by Twitter and Facebook and respond in a real-time fashion. Employ sound content policies on all channels by creating content-based keywords, using common sense and logical tagging, as well as good search terms. How about a mentoring program? Learn how to champion a hurdle. Start a mentoring program for athletes, helping them so they won't make the same mistake in the future. Live chats are designed to engage with the audience on a personal level through social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Blogs help. How to repair? Well, it's quite simple. Write good content. And again, some of the best ways to do that is through a blog, and often free. Adding well-written, targeted posts can really help your online reputation. Here's an example of the guilty. In our beautiful karmic world, it was then New York Attorney General Eliot Spitzer who led a campaign against Henry. As a Wall Street analyst, Blodgett allegedly published stock assessments that weren't entirely true. In 2003, he settled the fraud charges with the Securities and Exchange Commission for $4 million, although did not admit any wrongdoing. Like Spitzer, Blodgett went on to a successful career in punditry, finding the news site Business Insider. His strategy? He leveraged his brash, he took no prisoners, and he's reshaped himself. Guilty. Michael Copper. Enron alumni have gone to a range of enterprises. The chief financial operator is now a document review clerk at a law firm. The assistant treasurer now runs an art consulting firm under her maiden name. The CEO of Enron Broadcast Services says he currently runs a party supply business on the LinkedIn platform. But Copper, the former finance managing director who served 2 months in prison, is now the chief strategy officer for a community health clinic in Houston. No longer earning, or stealing, millions, Copper spent his days raising money to provide low-cost care to underserved people. His strategy? He redeemed himself through taking a good doer job way below his pay grade. And big business. Guilty. Johnson & Johnson. The Johnson & Johnson Tylenol meltdown is a sample of how a brand can and should communicate with the audience during a time of need. In Chicago in 1982, someone tampered with Tylenol bottles and replaced contents with cyanide-infused pill substance. The public was exposed to these, and 7 people died as a result. Tylenol championed the meltdown by being transparent and responded with a public alert through paid and organic resources. This led to a cease of production and having impacted inventories from store shelves. Johnson & Johnson supplied financial assistance and emotional counseling despite their non-involvement in the actual event. Negative thoughts were mitigated as the media helped voice and air these positive steps and resonated positively within that audience. I'd like to conclude by saying listening to the audience is key. Publishing search-friendly content on all channels is of critical importance. Creating a humble, empathetic, and transparent blog content is a great way to position yourself. Increasing brand equity and mitigating loss by avoiding pitfalls and being a champion, including rolling out programs like mentoring, can help shape your brand vision. I'd like to thank you for listening to PR Fire's group presentation on how to reshape the Lance Armstrong brand.